And welcome back to Jeff Kanange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. I tell you, what a show we're having. In fact, it's about time we did one of these. Sorry, guys, I'd forgotten.
This is interesting.
Yeah, at Robert Alai, at Benji Ndolo, at Dennis Itumbi, at Kanange Jeff. The hashtag Politics 101. Gentlemen, I have to talk about this Super Alliance, guys. Super Alliance. Oh, what's it called? NASA. You've seen the pictures, gentlemen. If you haven't seen, there's the National Super Alliance with Mudavadi as president, Kalonzo as deputy, and then, obviously, once they get into power, if they do, they'll change the constitution to have a prime minister and two deputies. Prime minister being Joho, two deputies being Wetangula and Gideon Moi. Baba, Isaac Ruto, Martha Karua, Munya, and Charity Gilu are all in the alliance, but you know,
Are we done
down.
with the DP, by the way?
Hold on. Gentlemen, Alai, your thoughts? NASA, National Super Alliance?
I think it's a good thing. The only challenge which I have is first the issue of the prime ministers. I don't know why we have to bring them back all the time. The second one is on Mudavadi. Mudavadi has not been disciplined enough to be a presidential material since 2007. I think that he has let his guard down. He has not been active on the national sphere of politics well, and I think that he's destroyed himself politically. So I don't know how he will lead that team, because that's a team of people who are leading, you know, they have egos, and controlling them needs somebody who is very mature.
And
but
he's not the one.
I don't think that he's the one.
But
Maybe
with Baba,
maybe Kalonzo was better off
Right.
being on top, and Mudavadi being the next.
Uh-huh.
But since they are looking at the tribal arithmetic, Mudavadi has to be on top.
and Baba being in the background?
Baba needs to be on the background. Baba needs to be, you know, an elder. This is what I've said, you know, recently, because I've found that Raila, when he's on top there, is not interested in being the president. He's interested in making money, which is not going to help this country. You know, as long as he puts money and the family first. Since Raila became opposition leader in I don't know, in what? No, not 2013. Since Raila became an influential politician,
Yes.
he has only nominated 3 Luos into parliament. You know, Ongoro,
His brother?
Millie Odhiambo, and Oburu.
His brother.
That's it.
Yes, that's it.
But Alai, one more question. Can this team win?
I think that team can win.
Stop.
Yes.
Benji?
That's a strong team, certainly. And especially with the climate being as it is.
The climate on
Yeah.
corruption.
Yeah. I mean, people are
Dennis is
day by
laughing.
day just fed up. I mean, the president's throwing up his hands and saying he can't do the job, basically. And then his deputy is daily being accused of other stuff. So,
the EFCC boss.
so what? So
Yes.
what we're looking at here is
EFCC boss. He will
it's
jail
pretty
everybody.
crazy. But unfortunately, I agree with Robert. Mudavadi, Musalia, I'm sorry to say, and I've said this before, has a lazy thing about
Yeah,
him.
Benji, would Kalonzo agree to a DP
I think he
in
would.
this formula, theoretically?
I think he would.
You think he would?
Yeah.
As well?
And I think they probably could take it.
Okay.
The challenge
Dennis,
is
I
two
haven't
things.
come to you yet.
The
Stand
challenge
by.
is two
I know
things.
you're waiting.
The challenge is two things. Number
Yeah.
one, what exactly they offer Raila. That remains a challenge.
Right.
Number two, we voted for and we want a pure presidential system. Personally, I'm not for all this prime minister, deputy prime minister nonsense. It's all hogwash. And it's necessitated by the fact that our politics is rubbish, so we do assembly of tribes. I cannot wait for the day that changes. And I wish Dennis would put his energy and his mind towards that new Kenya.
They need not to nominate Raila for any position. Raila needs to nominate himself, because there is nobody who has the influence and who has the charisma in that group more than Raila. So there's nobody who's going to have the guts to nominate Raila on anything. The Raila just has to say that I'm stepping back. I'm going to be the elder.
That's it.
It is
Yes.
important to
Dennis.
take Robert Alai seriously because he has worked with Raila Odinga and he understands him. It's important to take Benji Ndolo seriously because he has advised Kalonzo Musyoka and he knows that he will take the position of a deputy president. But it is more important for this nation to know that whatever they come up with, this is what they will be facing. From 1963 to 2013, only 11,000 kilometers of road were built. That is 220 kilometers per year. For the last 3 years, this government has built 3,000 kilometers of road, which is 1,000 kilometers per year. That is
Nobody
80%.
knows that.
Then, now they know. Then on maternity, there are only 600,000 people giving birth. Now there is 1.2 million giving birth in hospital because there is free maternity. There are 44 dialysis machines, and it's soon going to be 94 dialysis machines. Already, on internet penetration, we have moved from 41.6% to 82.6%. On NHIF, we were only 3 million in 2013. We are now 7 million. There are 717 households benefiting from cash transfer. There are only 116 sub-locations that are not connected to mobile connectivity. From 1,119, 58 ICU beds by the time Jubilee took power, now 130. And I can go on and on and on. No, very few primary schools had power. We now have 22,000 of them having power. Children are getting laptops. That is whatever these two great advisors of those two great men come up with, will have to face in a presidential debate.
No.
Dennis, wait. You
I
haven't
must
answered the question.
I have.
I
Just
must
basically,
respond.
it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Whoever they come up with will get this.
I must respond. Dennis, the mistake you guys are making, and the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
Okay.
I feel that you guys from the beginning are not reading the Constitution. You don't understand the Constitution. You don't really follow the Constitution. You probably follow it at will. Let me give you Article 226(5) before I give you Article 229. If a holder of public office approves use of public funds contrary to the law, they are liable and shall make good of the loss, whether the person remains office holder or not. Think Anway Guru, think NYS, God forbid, Eurobond. I'm saying very serious things here, Dennis. You're an advisor, you talk to the president. These are not just things to just throw around and just play. You see, when money is being stolen, whatever you're saying washes out. The president ordered, let me finish.
No, it's
Dennis,
important.
please.
No.
We're not
What
here
is the
for jokes.
No, what is
Dennis.
the? I know you're not here for jokes. Article 226. What is the process of making them good to pay? There is a process. They don't just go to their house and get it. There's a process.
Yes.
So what's the process?
If the process is the legal process, what I'm saying is that the fact of the matter is that money is being lost. The president himself has said, quote, the best thieves in this country are in my own office.
True.
So I am helping you make your own case, get re-elected, and help the country.
Okay.
Number two,
That's
the
the
president
process.
ordered a 20% pay cut on all senior staff, including himself. Maybe you can tell us whether that has happened or not. Number
That is
three,
not true.
State House expenditure under Kibaki, 1.3 billion. Under Uhuru, 7.3 billion. The source is the annual National Government Implementation Review Reports by Control of Budget. Dennis,
Friend,
I know you're hosting many dignitaries.
You're asking questions. Can I answer the questions?
I'm not asking questions. I'm telling you
Let
what
him
to do.
answer, Benji. Let him answer.
You say, first of all, presidential expenditure at State House has gone higher. First, you have to realize that under Executive Order number 2, which has not been challenged by Ndolo and any other civil society, any other society person, we created the Executive Office of the President. Under Executive Office of the President, you have the DP's office, you have LAPSET, you have very many functions that have increased tenfold from Kibaki's tenure. That is one. Number two,
What's the value?
the value is visible. LAPSET is running all the way from Lamu to Ethiopia. How can you ask her what's the value? Surely. Then
But
number two,
LAPSSET was there under-
number two, it wasn't under the president's office. Number two, he speaks about articles 220. You know, Benji loves, as I say, loves hyping. And I think it's from his background as a hype man in a disco. He loves that hype thing. It is important
His
for us to
background
frame
is
him as a hype man in a disco. He was a disco hype man. So it is very important for you to understand that that is his background. And let me be very serious about this.
So are you a
issue.
clown?
Article number
Now that you're in
226.
a bow tie,
Perfect.
representing
Perfect.
a funny haircut here.
Number
Let's get
226.5,
serious, boy.
Article 226.5
Yes.
presents that anyone who misappropriates funds must give it back.
Yes.
And that is acceptable. That is why government has come up with assets
Asset
recovery unit,
freezing and recovery,
which has
yes.
recovered 1.6 billion so far. Benji is declining to give the process that you get to get that money back. There is a process. It goes through EACC, goes to the DPP, someone is prosecuted in court, and I have said 406 cases are being prosecuted in court as we speak. There are 98 convictions.
For 8 years.
Which is 53%. It is the highest number of prosecutions of PSs, CSs, and these guys are not only told step aside, we investigate, then you come back. They went out and went out completely. there is a process of recovering that money. Once this is done, they are not only, and what the judiciary has done in the two cases we know, Perry, Simam, and the Nyeri case, the judiciary has not only recovered the money they got, but double the money they got while in the
Okay,
office.
Robert,
So
I
there
have to
is
ask,
evidence.
Okay, Robert, I have to ask you this question. Then I heard this the other day in a conversation. So Amina Mohammed is on her way to the AUC, right? As
Yes.
possible next chairperson.
Yes.
Elections are in January.
Yes.
Possible replacement. Kalonzo Musyoka.
No.
Have you heard that?
No, I don't think that. I don't think that anybody is thinking.
Why
like
not?
that. I don't. You know.
Well,
Not
the offer
only-
was there.
The offer was there, yes.
the
But
offer was
Kalonzo
there.
himself has said that he's not going to go that.
That's
low.
what he said in public, Robert. How do you know what he's saying behind?
I don't know, but I just don't feel that these people are making the post for Kalonzo Musyoka. I think it's for others. I think replacing Kalonzo Musyoka in Cumberland is very easy. Kalonzo didn't have clout in Cumberland until he came to Raila. Then it was Ngilu who was the queen of Cumberland.
Yeah.
So I think replacing Kalonzo,
stronger.
the unfortunate bit is that if they don't check it well, Dr. Mutua might take it.
Might take Cumberland.
Yes.
Benji, can Kalonzo take? He was offered this job. That's what you're saying.
Yes, I know he was offered the job. Actually, he told me personally. Also, Mheshimiwa
Kalonzo
Mutambo,
told you
yeah,
he was offered the job of foreign minister.
Yeah, he told me that Mutambo came from State House, called him, said that he had an offer from State House. I saw Mutambo saying the same thing on national television. And Kalonzo basically laughed it off. He was a foreign affairs minister in, I think, 1993. That's a long time ago.
He was inside the tent.
Yeah, he was inside the tent then. He just felt that to be a vice president and to go back to where you were in 1993 is not feasible for him. That's what he says. I believe him.
Dennis?
He feels there's no space in Jubilee.
Dennis?
Just confirmed the advice is Kalonzo Musyoka, which is very important for this
No,
discussion. And that's why Kalonzo Musyoka calls about even serious things about alleged appointments. There is no letter he can table to show that was done. There is no phone call he can table to show that was done. It's political call. I'll say this.
What's wrong
the
with that?
The president has the sole authority of appointment. So if that was done, brilliant. If that was promised Kalonzo, brilliant stuff. And once that appointment is done, I will definitely be among the first people to put on all digital platforms of the president and of government of the appointment of the new minister and welcome.
But you're not denying it, Dennis.
I don't know. I'm not privy to who president appoints to cabinet. I would be lying to say that. I mean, cabinet decisions are not on my pay grade. So the president decides who he appoints to cabinet. Remember, Kalonzo is already a special envoy of some country to Kenya. So I mean, he's already doing a foreign affairs duty for one of the countries out there.
Yeah,
so
Cyprus.
I mean, he's
Cyprus,
Cyprus.
yes.
So I mean, you can see his advisor is on top of things. So basically, Kalonzo Musyoka, if he's appointed foreign affairs minister, I have no objection. I don't even have capacity to object. And Kenyan people, of course, will also welcome him. And the president of the Republic of Kenya has a sole discretion. So if it happens, brilliant enough. But let's discuss a more important issue on Amina. It is important that we say that Amina has done a brilliant job as a foreign affairs minister.
No doubt.
And as she waits for January, as you wait for January, we are sure that she will be among those people who will take, she will actually take this thing home.
Robert, few hitches.
Yes. Dennis knows the incidents in Russia where Amina was not able to secure the meeting with the President Putin. That one was
I think
very,
also
and
Washington,
the president,
or
the
was it New
president, the boat flies to New York, and when Amina was not able to secure that meeting, the president had to sneak into China. These are the failings of Amina. But I hope that the Jubilee is not taking Amina to AU so as to do something else, but to, I hope that she's not coming back as one of the presidential candidates.
That's Russia.
In 2022.
That's
Yes.
Russia.
Hold on.
That's a landing
Robert,
pad.
Robert,
Yes,
elaborate on that. What do you
Yes.
mean?
I think she might come back as one of the presidential candidates.
22?
Yes. Because I say this, and I say this one with the much information in my hand, that the biggest enemy of the DP is inside the Jubilee. After the president has been elected for the second term, there's no way you're going to defeat Uhuru now. Uhuru should rest that he has been elected. I don't see the mathematics which is going to stop Uhuru from being elected. So the unfortunate bit is that in the second term, the first project to tackle is to stop the DP. He's going to be fought, and he's going to be stopped. Because of many things. And you know, some of them happened in 2007, 2008. And so it's going to be a vicious fight. And the projects have to be put in. You know, Peter Kenneth is a project. Amina Mohammed is a project. You know, Gideon Moy is a project. Hassan Joe is a strong project who is going to be taken seriously. The only challenge is that he is also having, he's trying to be popular, but he has a lot of baggage on himself. So he's going to be fought from within CORD and outside CORD.
Who's the other one for 2022 in CORD?
In CORD 2022, I don't see anybody else.
Generally?
But let me tell you
Generally be there?
I can tell you, no, I told you that if Raila still has the energy, Raila will run in 2022, 2027.
He shouldn't.
2032.
He shouldn't. He shouldn't.
Now, what about Ababu?
He destroyed himself.
Ababu destroyed himself.
We talked about it here.
I think Ababu didn't know how to handle dynasties, you know, so Ababu destroyed himself.
Dennis, what do you think of all these hypotheses?
I come on this bench with a disadvantage as a civil servant. But as a Kenyan voter,
Yes.
as a Kenyan voter,
Yeah.
I will say this. I love the way he tries to bring all the theories and what he expects to be the theory in 2022. I encourage this gentleman to concentrate on 2017. After that, there will be a last term, which is a transitional term. And then we will be able to debate all these things. But for now, let's concentrate on what is done. Let's discuss, let's not discuss individuals, but the agenda for Kenya. And the agenda of Kenya has been set so high that on the 1st of June 2017, we will ride a train from Mombasa to Nairobi 100 years later, after a railway was ever done.
In 3.5 hours.
How fast is that train?
In 3.5 hours. It is not the lowest. 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours, 4 hours, you'll be in Nairobi, my friend.
No.
And it's going to
What's
Naivasha,
that speed,
it's going to go to
140?
Kisumu, it's going to go to
It's
Malaba.
80.
It shouldn't be 80. It shouldn't be 80.
It is not 80.
Not for
These
this
guys,
kind of money.
You know, these guys, December, actually the coaches arrive in December. I encourage you to come and don't just
No, I
put out.
want to come. I want to come and test this.
I want to be aboard that train.
Yes.
Yeah, and Jeff,
that will not
we can
have
hold
a
one of the summits there, a
On the
transport
train.
summit on the moving train through Savo. And of course, there are other arguments about going through the park and going through Savo
Right.
and all those things.
Environment.
And we were told when it goes through Savo, there will be no migration of wildlife. Now Savo is over and wildlife is back. I mean, encourage this gentleman not just to speak on the comforts of big hotels and the comforts of their
criticize
of
everything.
places.
When there is a concern,
and I'm saying,
when there is a concern about a rail line going through a park, try to at least, humble your mind and try to see what you're saying. Don't just,
but I am humbling.
gloss over everything.
I am. Just a minute. Just a minute. Alai.
Don't just
I
gloss
am
over everything,
I am
Dennis.
actually humbling my mind. It's you who is not. Look, we said Savo is going to affect migration corridor, and that is the same argument you're using for Nairobi. That did not happen. Savo was completed. Wildlife is back. We are now on coming to Nairobi, the Nairobi Park. Studies have been done by the best experts who are also in government. You know, there's also some.
Which studies,
the
like
best
those
experts
done on
out there.
Muranga Tunnel? Come on,
I'm
man.
coming to Moranga Tunnel.
Then
Then that has been done. So of course we know, already it's proven through the park that migration of wildlife is not affected. It will not be affected in Nairobi. Those are facts. You don't have to go too far to see. It's in Savo. If Benji wants, let him come to me. We'll take a drive down there and he can be able to see it.
Let me not call you and you don't pick your phone.
Okay, gentlemen. We're running out of time real quick. Robert, some closing remarks. That's your camera over there. Give us whatever you wanted to say, plus your closing remarks.
No, I think what we have come out with from here is that the Jubilee has failed. The unfortunate thing is that they're going back. The best thing that I think that the Kenyans can do now is to hold the president to ransom, to his words. The president must be forced that the first week of his second term, he must fire people. If he can fire the DP, the better. Because the DP is failing.
And then these others, the DPP or the DCI.
These are just appointees. Nobody elected them. If they are supposed to be appointed, they can be fired today. Nobody elected them.
No one elected the court.
Nobody can. You can't even
We elected
blame
the
them.
president.
They're so helpless. I think they're very helpless. So the president is the only person who has the mantle and the machinery to fire because he has the information. The president is powerful because of the information he holds.
Good.
I'm
Benji,
pretty sure, which is
closing
my
thoughts.
camera?
This one.
I'm pretty sure the president's mind is being poisoned by handlers, by people around him. There's a feeling that the president is being taken captive. I say this because David Njoroge was Controller and Auditor General in Kenya for 36 years. He served from 1968 to 2004. So when Uhuru is pouring scorn on Auditor General Edward Ouko, a mine I happen to know. I've worked with him on World Bank projects. A member of AfroSci, Supreme Audit Institutions, internationally, a man respected by the UNDP, etc., it does a disservice to the government. When you go and exclaim guy against this guy's tribe says Nyasai. And these subtle things continue to divide the country. So my advice to His Excellency the President is to at least try to have a semblance of independent institutions working in the government as per the Constitution. Article 229 says, Auditor General, Article 6, shall confirm whether or not public money has been applied lawfully and in an effective way. It doesn't say that in the Constitution in Tanzania or in the Constitution in Uganda. Our threshold here is higher. We must have magnanimity. Finally, when I was leaving Raila's house sometime last year, when unfortunately lost his son, when the presidential detail saw off Uhuru into his car, the president jumped into his car, rolled his window down, said hello to me, an ordinary citizen. That is the magnanimity that Uhuru Kenyatta should show, high-mindedness, humility as a national leader. Not a guy so angry, willing to cuss out or fight physically at State House.
Okay.
That's my advice.
Okay.
And Kenya will move forward.
All right, Dennis,
Alai.
you get the last word.
Alai, Jubilee has not failed. In healthcare, we have a managed equipment system. On free maternity, we have increased the number of people and reduced the maternal deaths. No, let me finish. You have already had to say.
Let me answer Dennis. That in health, this is the worst position a country can be in health now.
And money has been stolen.
If you don't have health insurance now, if you don't have private health insurance, you are signing your death warrant by going to these hospitals.
Yeah.
For something as simple as malaria.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Okay. Dennis.
You know,
Dennis,
the most
Summarize.
unfortunate thing
Summarize.
is when you go to facts. It just, these guys don't want to listen. 2, NHIF has increased from 3 million to 7 million. Those are not people who are not being covered by insurance. Those are real Kenyans getting insurance. When you go to transport and infrastructure, roads have increased. More roads have been built between 2013 and 2016, more than have been built from 1963 to 2013. Security, agriculture, education. I can go on and on and on. Then he says about the Auditor General and the magnanimity of the Auditor General and his CV. And I said to him, and the Auditor General, the Auditor General, I intend to tell Benji this. He may be all that, but we cannot then say he should not be, when investigations in his office come, then we should call for mass demonstrations. Everyone should be investigated for their role. Finally, Jeff, I want, let me end this. Let me end this. But he spoke about Uhuru from Raila's home.
Dennis,
which is
Jeff, I wish that Dennis would tell the president. I know the Auditor General. I come close from where the Auditor General comes from. So I know the Auditor General. He's such a humble guy.
Yeah,
I wish
he's
that
a
the president
professional.
would just
He looks bad on
invite
you.
him for a one-on-one.
discussion.
Yes, and they find ways
Yeah,
of
not
giving
just
us
poisoning
information.
and look at him as a luo.
Threats,
That's what we're saying.
we have no
What
problem.
kind of advisors does Uhuru have?
The Auditor General has done his job well. And that's what I started by saying. He has tabled his reports in Parliament. The law dictates that Parliament then decides on those things and processes them for action.
He was
No
the
one has
only
an issue about
competent
that.
one there.
What? Benji, can I ever speak?
Final thought, Dennis.
Let me end this.
Conclusion,
Let
yes.
me end on the Attorney General, then I end. On the Auditor General, it is important that even if his office is under scrutiny, it's also scrutinized. Not even the president is above the law completely. That is why he was called in. That is why the president was called in.
These are the guys who did Eurobond.
Oh.
JP Morgan Chase.
All right.
Fined $2 billion.
Let me conclude.
Listen,
Let me
guys.
I'm not
conclude.
saying-
Let me
Guys,
conclude.
let's
Let me
do
conclude.
this.
These are the kind of banks that
Okay.
did Eurobond.
Let me conclude.
So it's
My camera.
normal to ask
Yes,
questions.
that's your camera.
My
Conclude.
camera. My final words go to the judiciary. I give them the words of Prophet Amos, while he wrote his book in chapter 5 and verses 24. And he had this to say: let justice roll down like water, and righteousness like a mighty stream.
Who was this? Amos?
Amos was a prophet in the Old Testament, a very respected prophet in the Old Testament.
Okay, listen, guys. Can we do one thing? Once a month, let's meet and talk.
Fantastic.
We pick 2 topics, the 3 of us, 4 of us,
Yes.
and we talk.
Did you enjoy it? Because I kind of feel like we stressed Jeff today.
No, it's okay.
I feel
I don't
like we
mind.
stressed you
I don't
today.
mind. But can we agree on this?
Agreed.
We're
Also,
fine with that.
what did you do new to Alai, man? He's become a little, he's become soft, man. What do you, does he work for you? Does Alai work for you?
He has spent 70 minutes hitting government. I don't think it's
Is that my camera?
No, no camera,
Happy
Benji.
birthday, Mr. President.
No camera.
Happy birthday, Uhuru. Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday. That's right. Happy birthday, Mr.
Happy
President.
birthday, Mr. President.
Yeah,
Happy
absolutely. If we could sing, we would sing, right?
Yeah, or we can try.
Happy birthday to you.
I'll sing when he does a good job.
Well done, guys. Thanks for coming, Dennis. Thank you, Benji.
Thank you for inviting
Robert,
me. Thank you very
No
much.
harm in wishing your enemy well.
Asante.
All the best. All the best.
Thank you, Benji.
Dennis,
Tomorrow
let's get
night,
serious,
right
boss.
here on
No, it's
JKL,
serious.
it's Inspiration
Let's get serious.
Thursday.
Robert,
And yes, we're continuing to celebrate our own. We call them the best and the brightest. And it's no other than Alex Chamwada. That's right. Superstar, journalist, veteran, you name it. He's been there, done that, got the T-shirt. He's my guest tomorrow night, right here on Jeff Koinange Live. In the meantime, keep tweeting at Alai, at Ndolo, at Dennis Itumbi, at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag Politics 101. Thanks so much for joining us. Good night. Good luck. God bless.